Have our pledge of allegiance, we'll have our invocation. Please stand.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you this day you gave us to come out, assemble ourselves together in City Hall for these council people to conduct the business of the great city of Northport, Alabama. Thank you for blessing us. Thank you for our city's growth. Lord, just right now, we thank you for everything that you do for us. Always keep in mind the ones that are hurting still from the hurricane. Lord, just be with them. Thank you for our citizens that have helped ease some of the pain down in Florida. Lord, just thank you for loving us. These things we ask. Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Wells, call roll, please.
This will be unusual tonight. We're going to start doing voice votes, just starting and just indicate if you're present by saying yes. Beginning with Ms. Photo. Present.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 4 is presentations. We have 5 items tonight. Mayor, if you will.
Breast cancer awareness. Have people come up here and stand as we read this proclamation. Anyone? Okay. Whereas breast cancer is the second most commonly diagnosed form of cancer for women in the United States and remains the second leading cause of cancer death among American women, and whereas mammography, an X-ray of the breast, is recognized as the single most effective method of detecting breast changes long before physical symptoms can be seen or felt. Early detection and improved treatment is believed to have significantly reduced the number of deaths caused by breast cancer. And whereas researchers, scientists, and numerous nonprofit organizations are dedicated to discovering the cure for breast cancer, during the month of October, we acknowledge the extraordinary commitment and effort invested in this cause. And whereas we recognize that over 3.5 million Americans are breast cancer survivors that give us hope for a better future. Whereas with support of those who continue to cope with breast cancer, I, Bobby Herndon, Mayor of the great city of Northport, extend our deepest respect for survivors and those advocating for prevention and a cure, and in so doing hereby proclaim October 2022 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the city of Northport. You guys. Respiratory therapy. Wow, come on up. This is awesome. Now, of course, you guys don't know me. Most of you don't anyway, but I have a lot of experience with my late wife, Deb, died in '96 with an asthma attack, and the care she got was just extraordinary, and I appreciate that. And when Kay, my wife now, and I were in the hospital in 2021, both of us with COVID, the care that we got was amazing. So from experience, thank you guys so much. Whereas the COVID-19 pandemic impacted all citizens of Northport in one form or another. However, some families were impacted permanently by the loss of a loved one, while many others endured lengthy health degradation requiring hospitalization. And whereas of those requiring hospitalization, many experienced respiratory-related symptoms and decompensation requiring the therapy and monitoring from the respiratory care department. And whereas respiratory care practitioners are healthcare professionals specifically trained to provide treatment to those in need of ventilator support, aerosolized medications, bronchial hygiene, oxygen therapy, and pulmonary rehabilitation, treat and care for people young and old, from the premature baby, pediatric asthmatic, chronically ill elderly adult, and everyone in between that is experiencing a wide array of respiratory diseases or ailments. Whereas respiratory care practitioners have worked tirelessly throughout the pandemic, keeping up with levels of demand never experienced before and caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, while maintaining the same level of care to all other patients that routinely have health care needs. And whereas 1 week a year is dedicated as National Respiratory Care Week in honor of those working within the field and a time for those to share their passion and profession with others. Therefore, I, Bobby Herndon, as mayor of the great city of Northport, do hereby proclaim October 23rd through October 29th, 2022 as National Respiratory Care Week in the city of Northport. And guys, we thank you very much. You just give it to whoever needs it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, the Tree City. Welcome, guys. Whereas trees are a beautiful natural resource and provide innumerable environmental and public benefits, and whereas the city of Northport is a tree-friendly city that prioritizes providing and maintaining trees for the public benefit, and whereas the city of Northport is pursuing designation as a Tree City USA to recognize and improve such efforts, and whereas the formal recognition and celebration of Arbor Day provides a great opportunity to invite and inspire others to join us in these efforts. Now, therefore, I, Bobby Herndon, by the authority vested in me as mayor of the great city of Northport, Alabama, do hereby proclaim the last Friday in April as Arbor Day in the city of Northport, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Thank you so much. Thank you. Colonel? Good to see you again, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Come on up, guys. Hey, you doing good? Yes. Very good. Thank you for being here. Whereas Lieutenant Colonel Robert Bob Haber joined the Civil Air Patrol on October 25th, 1942, and has been an active member for 76 years. And whereas Lieutenant Colonel Haber actively served in Korea in 1950, but maintained his membership in Civil Air Patrol, he has never gone more than 6 months without a squadron, his dedication to CAP never wavering. And whereas Lieutenant Colonel Haber has served CAP in New York, Kentucky, Georgia, Michigan, California, and Alabama, and whereas Lieutenant Colonel Haber has served in many capacities during his tenure, serving as mission commander, a 3-time squadron commander, and sector commander. In Georgia, he was appointed as wing deputy commander, which is his highest appointment to date. And whereas Lieutenant Colonel Haber has been awarded the Congressional Gold Medal for his service to Civil Air Patrol during World War II. And whereas on October 25th, 2022, Lieutenant Colonel Haber will celebrate 80 years of active service in the Civil Air Patrol. That's unbelievable. I mean, I believe it, but I see that. Whereas on behalf of the entire City Council and citizens of Northport, we express our sincere appreciation to Lieutenant Colonel Bob Haber for his loyalty to our country, for he has earned our respect, joining the ranks of distinguished citizens of our community. Now, therefore, I, Bobby Herndon, as mayor of the city of Northport, do hereby proclaim today, Monday, October 24, 2022, as Lieutenant Colonel Robert Bob Haber Day in the city of Northport, and urge all citizens to join me in congratulating Lieutenant Colonel Haber on an outstanding career with the Civil Air Patrol and expressing our gratitude to him for his unwavering dedication and service to our country. Our business of the month. Anybody here from Wings and Things? Wings and Fish. Fishing Things. Northport Fishing Things. I just saw wings on the thing here, and we're going here. Made me hungry. You doing good? Good to see you, brother. All right. As you all know, we try to do at least once a month, recognize an existing business in our city. We're always trying to promote new growth, new businesses to come into our city to help pay the bills. But we also need to maintain and acknowledge the businesses that have been here and have stayed the course. And so that's what we're doing tonight. We have, whereas the municipality of Northport, Alabama celebrates our local small businesses and the contributions to our local economy and community, and whereas small businesses employ 47.3% of the working population in the United States, and whereas Northport, Alabama supports our local businesses that creates jobs, boost our local economy, preserve our neighborhoods, and promotes a sense of community, and whereas Northport Fish and Things has called Northport home for over 8 years, whereas Northport Fish and Things is owned and operated by a trio of businessmen, Tyrone Madison, Derek Montgomery, and James Rose, and whereas the Sweet Heat Wings are a favorite and keep customers coming back for more, and whereas Northport Fish and Things strives to give their customers that family-like feeling and could not think of another place to call home other than Northport. Now, therefore, I, Bobby Herndon, by the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Northport, do hereby proclaim Northport Fish and Things to be October 2022 Business of the Month in the great city of Northport, and express our appreciation for the continued contributions to the quality of life and well-being of our citizens. Man, thank you for being here. You want to say anything?
Hey, I hope to see all y'all at Northport Fishing Thing. We here every Friday and Saturday. We hope you get them greens for that game. Hey, hot, fresh fish too on Friday.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for being here. Good job, sir.
Mayor, thank you very much. Item 5 is approval of the agenda. If there's a member of council that would like to make a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
So move.
That is a motion by Councilman Washington, a second by Councilman Hinton. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting, beginning with Ms. Bobo? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I see some people are leaving. If you were here for one of the proclamations and you would like to adjourn, you may do so, or you can stay and listen to the rest of the council agenda. We have a very lengthy one tonight. There's a lot of things that you could possibly learn. Item 6 is visitors to address the council. We have none signed up to speak tonight. However, there will be public hearings on numerous agenda items, and there will be a time and a place for people who do want to speak to come to the podium, and we'll go over that. Item 7A1 is a second reading of a rezoning of an approximately 24.3 acres located at south side of far west end of Old Union Chapel Road. Ms. Ram.
Yes, sir. If I may, I'll go ahead and explain the first 3 items on your agenda. They're related in one way or the other.
Okay.
All the same developer. It's Brasher Holdings. Mr. Tom Sims is here. I believe Mr. Brasher is also here, and they can speak during the public hearings. The first item, 7A1, is located at the bottom of your screen. That is, the request is to rezone 24.3 acres from RS1 to RS4. This does require a public hearing, and that did come with a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission. 7A2 is located adjacent to Union Chapel Road and at the end of North Creek Boulevard. That's a 2.3 acre parcel. It is currently zoned C3. The request is to rezone to RS4. That did come with a neutral recommendation. There was a tie vote with the Planning Commission, so that is a neutral recommendation. Item 7A3 is the larger chunk that you see there on your screen that's hatched. That is a 70.5 acre parcel. The current zoning is RS1. The request is to rezone to RS4. And this does come with an unfavorable recommendation from the Planning Commission. And with all of these items, staff has expressed some potential issues or concerns regarding utility infrastructure in that area. I just want to make you aware of that. And all of these will require a public hearing, separate public hearings and separate votes.
Since this is all tied together and numerous public hearings, Ms. Ram, is there anything you want to let anybody know what you mean by RS1 to RS4?
RS1 is single-family residential. RS4 is also single-family residential. It's just a much more dense, allowable zone. I think the lot width on RS4 is 60 feet. They have also received a conditional variance request from the Zoning Board of Adjustment to further narrow those lot widths to 55 feet and some reduction on setbacks on both of those developments. Those variances were granted conditioned upon the rezoning of both of those large parcels.
So this is going from our large lots
Yes.
to our small lots.
To the small lots
and
with
then-
an either further reduction.
And then even more
Yes.
down from that, okay.
Can Ms. Tubbs speak to the sewer capacity in that area? I know that's a concern.
Yes, some of these, the original zoning was included in the master plan, and when we go through and look at our sewer capacities and areas, we use the master planning zoning to calculate that. This is a much denser, so there will be more homes built in this area, which does increase the sewer capacity needs, and we do have areas in this system that are at capacity now. So it will be a detriment to our infrastructure in this area as far as sewer is concerned.
Okay. With that being said, we will start with 7A1, which is the rezoning of approximately 24.3 acres located south side of far west end of Old Union Chapel Road. This requires a public hearing, but before I go into that, 7A1, 7A2, and 7A3, how many people are here to speak for or against this project, or just here to learn more about the project, by a show of hands? Anybody? Just a few? Okay. So with that being said, we will open the floor for a public hearing for 7A1. If you are here to speak for or against this agenda item, if you will come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Okay. I will close the public hearing. Is there a member of council that would like to move to grant or deny the request for rezoning of approximately 24.3 acres located at the south side or far west end of Union Chapel Road? Okay. This will die for a lack of a motion. Seven A2 is the second reading of a rezoning of approximately 2.3 acres located at east dead end of North Creek Boulevard. This also requires a public hearing for 7A2. I will open the floor for a public hearing. All right, 7A2, the floor is open for a public hearing. If anyone's here to speak for or against this agenda item, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Tom Sims with Longleaf Engineering, 432 65th Street, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Here on behalf of Brasher Holdings. I wanted to talk a little bit about 2, but 2 and 3 are basically companion pieces. They're adjacent parcels up there on the screen. We had like Miss Julie was saying, a neutral recommendation from Planning Commission on the small parcel, I think, and then a 2 to 4 negative recommendation on the larger parcel. One of the things that we wanted to bring up to the council was that during the Planning Commission meeting, we were unaware of a master plan that was actually submitted to the city back in, I guess, 2005, which was the original subdivision. I sent over a quick presentation to the city earlier. That is that something we can show? No, ma'am. It was for the Terrace of North Creek. There you go. So that's the original master plan, and Ms. Terra had brought up the sewer capacity and saying that, you know, the planning was per the original master plan. Well, this is something that we didn't have originally. And so what we did was took the original master plan and the zoning that was in place at that time. And if you could flip to the next screen, or I don't know if I can do it. And this is how that original master plan sort of is partitioned out. And by the original master plan, it's showing approximately 202 lots could be constructed on this parcel per the layout they have shown. Now, back in 2005, I think their plan requirements were a little different. They didn't actually show lots, so we had to sort of interpolate between the different zoning classifications that were shown on there. One thing that's not on this plan that you'll notice is open space. One thing that's not on this plan is detention. One thing is not, walking trails, that sort of thing. We provide or are proposing to provide all of that in our new development. We've got about 25 acres of open space. We have walking trails. We have a park, amenities, that sort of thing. And we're 6 lots less dense than the original master. So that was the information we didn't get to provide during Planning Commission, just because we didn't have it at the time. So I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that moving forward.
Okay. Anything else?
I think that'll do it.
Is there anyone else that's here to speak for or against this agenda item? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing for 7A2. Is there a member of council that would like to move to grant or deny the request for rezoning of approximately 2.3 acres located at east dead end of North Creek Boulevard, based on the information that Mr. Sims has provided? This agenda item will die for a lack of a motion. 7A3 is the second reading of a rezoning of approximately 70.5 acres located at the east dead end of North Creek Boulevard. This also requires a public hearing. I will open the floor for a public hearing. If you are here to speak for or against this agenda item, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Tom Sims again. I guess I'm just wondering if there's some information you guys are lacking, or any reason why we're not at least getting a vote.
I can't answer that. If anybody else wants to answer?
Okay.
Anybody else? I will close the floor for the public hearing. And once again, I will ask if there is a member of council that would like to move to grant or deny the request for rezoning of approximately 70.5 acres located at east dead end of North Creek Boulevard. Seven A3 will die for a lack of a motion. 7A4 is the second reading of conditional use master development plan approval for a performance residential development located at 3205 Hunter Creek Road. Ms. Ram.
Yes, sir. The proposed project consists of a 22-unit townhome development. I believe there's 18 two-bedroom units, 4 three-bedroom units. That's a total of 48 bedrooms. This did receive a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission and also requires a public hearing.
Thank you, Ms. Ram. I will ask this as well. How many people, by show of hands, are here to learn more about this project? Okay. How many of those are here in opposition of? How many people are here in favor of? Okay. So since this item calls for public hearing, those wishing to speak for or against this item will be able to have a chance to do so. But since it looks like a large group, in the essence of time, we'll either grant one spokesman for opposition or for the project, or we can grant numerous speakers from each side for or against for 3 minutes each, with no duplication or concern of topic. So take, for instance, if your concern is traffic, we will only hear this topic once before going to the next person for a different concern. So it might be good to have a spokesperson if you are here for opposition If after 15 minutes of combined speakers, we're still hearing different concerns, each additional speaker will then be granted to 1 minute in essence of time. I do know there has been a few people that have sent letters or wrote emails to the city. Those have all been taken up by staff. The areas that I know that have been mentioned were 1, traffic safety, 2, flooding, 3, wildlife, and 4, affordable housing issues. So should you wish to speak about those or others when we open the floor for public hearing, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. With that being said, I do know we have a presentation from the petitioner of a PowerPoint, so we will start with that first, and then we will go into public speaking. So I will open the floor for public hearing for item 7A4, conditional use master development plan approval for a performance residential development located at 3205 Hunter Creek Road. Public hearing is now open. Please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Jason Walker, 2890 Rice Mine Road, Northeast Tuscaloosa, representing Nibrock Development LLC. So we appreciate your time tonight. This has been a process over a couple of years in terms of the way the project has come to fruition, ultimately through the Planning Commission meetings and just different iterations of the project, working with staff, trying to address as many of the concerns as we can. We'll skip through pretty quickly the PowerPoint and get to kind of some just key points in it. And there's some information in here. If we need to come back, we can use it just for documentation or something. But PowerPoint, oh, there we go. I hit it there. So again, a copy of the preliminary plat that had previously been submitted that had some modification relative to lot lines, some setbacks, et cetera, and the new master development plan that was generally summarized by Ms. Ram earlier. We think this is a very high quality development, and it's in a proper highest and best use case in terms of the land, location, et cetera. Generally, the development on the west side of the property, the east side, which is definitely sloped and gets back down to Hunter Creek, is proposed to be retained as open space with an amenity area for the subdivision, not a public park per se, but public to the community itself, and then a walking path and really just some area to be retained as a natural buffer, which would be appropriate both by the concept of the development and the Northport zoning ordinance. Similar layout, just a version of their preliminary plat. Color rendering that just again kind of shows the area being retained on the east portion of the site. You can see the configuration of the townhomes and the parking on the front, and there's some detailed areas, if you zoom up on this, that just shows some of the dedicated visitor parking spaces, and then does not include in the parking count the single loaded garages that are also in these, so we feel like there's an abundance of parking for the project. It's built for sale, not rent. Quality construction with high-end finishes, and in this type of product, probably something that there's not a lot of in the city of Northport right now. Because of that quality construction and hoping to obviously maximize that return on the upper end on a sale, it's marketed to retirees, young families, and single professionals. The property maintenance itself would be by association and not individual residents, so that would be front yards, exteriors, those kind of things. Amenities, which I addressed earlier, but a pavilion, dog park as well, and walking path. And overall low density. Again, at times I guess density can be in the eye of the beholder, but the reality is we've got some examples that we'll go through pretty quick, but at 4.5 units per acre, relatively low density for a townhome type product. Very successful project, but much more dense and much larger in the city limits of Tuscaloosa is this project called Pinnacle Park, which is off of Rice Mine Road at 7.2 units per acre. Two projects that are just at the edge on Rice Valley Road on the edge of the city of Northport, but still in the city of Tuscaloosa. That project overall, when you combine those two, is about 14 units per acre. And then a recent project at the front of Waterfall subdivision that Mr. Corbin is actually building in right now, a very upper end townhome and quality product, but it's on 5.5 units per acre and adjacent to some very high-end homes and no controversy, and part of a master plan, and has been developed recently. You're very familiar with this area, I'm sure, but it's just, I mean, it's the ultimate convenience for that list of people we mentioned, young professionals, young families. You know, you go down through the list of kind of the who's who of Northport businesses, and they're all within 400 feet of that list of businesses. So an ideal location for residential. The issues that have been mentioned, a highlight, you know, traffic. By IT trip generation estimates from an engineering standpoint, about 14 additional cars in a peak time, which would not even warrant a traffic study. So in terms of the traffic generated from the development, at that peak time that you would be most concerned about, it would not warrant a study. Drainage is obviously a sensitive issue, and with what's happened upstream in this area, you know, we're aware of that. The developer's aware of that. We as engineers put our name on the line anytime we're stamping a set of drawings and doing anything. Detention will be provided to limit that peak flow from what's there now, and beyond that, it will not be a benefit to anything upstream, but will not be a detriment to what has occurred recently, and I know being studied by the city. Adjacent property privacy is kind of hard to see in this detail, but we're basically taking the site and notching it down, and so there will be a vertical separation as well as vegetation and things on the upper end of the site, so it will not be visible to the neighbors to the north. There's some other things with just some adjacent area pictures in terms of control that this project will provide that maybe you don't have the benefit of in those adjacent neighborhoods. And then parking. I noted that earlier, but we feel like there is adequate space, and by code, we meet the code requirements, but we have that times each unit itself, again, with this extra space that we feel like will be utilized for vehicle parking, even though you would have a tandem kind of front-to-back parking scenario if two other parks were in the drive. The trash dumpster location was moved from comments we had from the north end to the south end just to make sure there's no noise impacts associated with that. And that's all I have, but I'd be happy to answer any questions, and the developer is here as well.
Any questions from council at this moment? I know there'll be others to speak. No questions so far, but might have to call you back up here. All right, is there anyone else that is here for or against this project that would like to come speak? Come state your name and address for the record.
Jamie Conger, 1108 Vestavia Circle, Northport, Alabama, 35473. How are y'all doing? Will make, I think, the fourth time I have spoken out against this condo in 2 years. I have lived in Northport the entire 15 years I've lived in Tuscaloosa County. My husband was born and raised in Northport. He actually grew up in a house in Vestavia right around the corner from where we live now. And unfortunately, the last 2 years, I've had to spend my time volunteering not only for myself, but for my neighbors to fight this condo development. We fought at the zoning level in December of 2020, February 2021, and both times the development was defeated as there was an overwhelming opposition to this development by the surrounding landowners. These landowners, who are again here tonight, have been clear in their opinions. They have addressed their concerns appropriately with their councilmen. They have voiced their concerns before the zoning board on numerous occasions. This 2-year process has gotten steadily more negative and frankly downright ugly here at the end. And again, I'm disappointed to see today in the PowerPoint the developer has chosen to ride around and try to make derogatory pictures about people's homes in the area. When we were at zoning in December of 2020 and February of 2021, you know, you have to ask yourself what changed, right, between then and when this is passed. And the only thing I can tell you is we've had 2 massive flood events during that time. We had them in June 2021, September of 2021, and as far as the plans go, they added 6 parking spaces. Those are the changes between the first 2 defeats and the success on their part. As you are very well aware, the city's expended substantial funds on the 2 Mile Creek study and attempting to address flooding in the area. To start building this development will inevitably include widening roads, creating more surface area and more manholes, which is likely to create more flooding issues before the development is even built. Dr. Hinton spoke at the zoning meeting asking the board to hold off on approving this development, and he cited the fact that some of these constituents who are sitting here spent thousands of dollars repairing their home after these flooding events. And the response we got at the zoning meeting was that we were using flooding as a, quote, low-hanging fruit. There remains an issue with parking. There is not adequate parking for 48 bedrooms, especially if any family in this development has more than 2 vehicles. There will be cars lined up on the streets of Vestavia and Brookside. The entrance to this development remains an issue. The line of sight is not existent. The proposed point of ingress and egress is dangerous. At this point where this development is supposed to go in, there are 2 driveways, Hunter Creek Road intersecting with Blackberry Lane, and a hill. There are no proposed turn lanes in the planned drawings. Once in the development, you have narrow roads and dead ends, which raises concerns for our community of, can the fire department get in? How do you propose school bus access? Are there going to be issues with waste management, delivery trucks? And as mentioned, traffic remains one of the largest issues. For those of you who don't live in this area, Hunter Creek Road is a primary cut-through from Highway 69 to Highway 82 or McFarland Boulevard. If you spend any amount of time on this road at any major traffic time, you know there's a traffic problem without this development already. Most mornings you sit at the top of the hill where this ingress and egress is supposed to go and wait an extended period of time. Traffic density is clearly a concern, and it was expressed by the previous zoning board. And it remains today. At the last zoning meeting where this was approved, the board noted that this traffic was an issue, but we would just have to deal with it. What else has gotten worse in 2 years? The market, as you are all fully aware, interest rates have gone from around 3% to today, I believe it was 7.5%. Proposed price of these homes, in addition to the Homeowners Association, which was just mentioned, will result in these costing a lot of money for anyone who's interested in purchasing, and I would argue is going to result in empty homes or eventually rental homes. There are currently over 20 vacant condos in Tuscaloosa. There are currently 143 single-family homes for sale in the city of Northport. Developers are quick to reference certain condo complexes in the 35406 zip code, but when you go to these condos, and you'll notice in the pictures they just showed you, they're not on narrow 2-lane highways getting in and out like we're looking at on Hunter Creek Road. Most of them are on a Rice Mine Road or Rice Valley Road. There's going to be a 3-lane. There's going to be an ability to turn without it being dangerous. These are not apples to apples. This is apples to oranges. Finally, Vestavia and Brookside are well-established neighborhoods that have not only held their value but grown in value. We have a wonderful school at our center. Why, after decades of successfully maintaining this area, would this council want to risk it all to build this development? It does not make sense to me, and it doesn't make sense to the rest of my neighbors. This proposal is outside the character of the existing neighborhood and non-conforming. In our attempts to get bigger and better, which I absolutely support, as you all know, in my free time, I volunteer to support the growth of Northport. You know, we can't lose sight of what makes this a great place to live, right? You know, approving ill-designed developments to prove we can, quote, support change doesn't prove anything at all. We're proud to live in Northport in our old brick buildings that have stood the test of time, and we're asking that you stand with us in opposing this development and maintaining the character and strength of our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else here would like to come and speak for additional items of concern? I know Ms. Conger talked about traffic, talked about parking, talked about flooding, drainage. There was a lot of, I was trying to write them all down while you were speaking. So is there anybody else that would like to speak on another agenda item, another item regarding this besides those that were already mentioned?
Me.
Okay, if you would, please state your name and address for the record.
I will. Julie McLaurin, 403 Brookside Drive.
Yes, ma'am.
2 quick things. One does not have anything to do with your vote, but it does have to do with something Ms. Conger mentioned that was very upsetting to me when it happened at the Planning Commission meeting, that our group was basically, it was implied that our objections to the development were racially motivated, that we were afraid that the housing would turn into Section 8. Never been mentioned, never thought of, never had crossed anyone's mind. We object to it based on everything she has said, and I just wanted to publicly state that, since it was publicly said before about our group. And then I would just emphasize what she said about the study that's being done. Why would we build a new development until the drainage issues are dealt with? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else here to speak for or against this agenda item that has not already been covered? Yes, sir.
Yes, I.
State your name and address for the record,
My name is
please.
George McLaurin, 403 Brookside Drive. And I'm here in opposition to this. My concern during all of this is the integrity with which information has been presented to you and to us going forward, and how that's going to be reflected going forward. A couple of things. They referenced tonight, as they did earlier, it's that they have this low number of units per acre, when in fact, nearly half of this property is unusable. And so where they're having this, it's very dense. It's very dense. And I believe that's a misrepresentation. Also, in the presentation earlier, there was a comment about the way the stream dropped from their engineer, and it was mentioned at something, I think it was 12 to 15 feet from our neighborhood to there. I have measured it with a GPS device, and it's more like about 2 feet. I think that's an integrity issue. I believe that when we were really put down in our previous comments to the zoning commission about the flooding, and I'm not talking about the flooding per se, but what I can tell you is that with that car wash there and the amount of rain that came down, there was already a backwash into yards coming up Hunter Creek, up into where we live in Brookside. And I believe that that's also been misrepresented. It just concerns me that one side last time was presented in such a way that belittled, in my opinion, belittled us and our concerns for this. I love this city. We've been here 30 years. We moved into Northport. We've stayed, and we want to stay. So I'm opposed to it. I'm opposed to it because I believe that it has not been presented in a way that is forthright and upright. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. As of right now, we have heard from the engineer with a presentation for this project. We've also heard concerns from residents in regards to traffic, parking, flooding, drainage, not racially motivated, integrity of information, density, backwash of rain. Is there anyone else that has anything else they would like to put on record? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Ruby Wade. I live at 103 Brookside Drive
Yes, ma'am.
and have owned my home since 1973. Plan to stay there till I die, and I just turned 86.
Well, congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you. My idea is, it is a lot of things to put on that property, but we would not be opposed to nice garden homes. And garden homes would be more in the area of what everything else around there. The subdivisions, they aren't two-story. And also, it would make it much more feasible with, and again, the people that have to get on Hunter Creek Road. Because if I'd been smart enough, I would have drawn a map showing all the different roads, the car wash, the nursing home, people turning off of 82 to come up Hunter Creek Road, people going into Brookside, 2 entrances into Vestavia, all there within probably less than a block, city block. And that's a lot of people, and especially in high-density areas. So people could build nice garden homes. We don't have a nice garden home subdivision. And they would sell. And you could probably get $40,000 per lot. I don't think you'd lose any money, and it would be much more attractive for the city of Northport, since we're trying to improve our image and everything be more stationary, not just this thing sticking up here and something else going a different way. And I think if we stay in one direction on things like that, we will improve our city and our image of the city. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Once again, we've heard traffic, parking, flooding, drainage, not racially motivated, integrity of information, density, backwash of rain, and ingress and egress. Mr. Walker, is there anything that you would like to say in regards to those? I know you hit on some of those briefly.
Yeah, and I guess not to belabor the point on drainage, but again, we would have to meet the requirements of the site development process for the city of Northport, and as professional engineers would stamp those drawings and meet that requirement. So I mean, it's a sensitive and almost emotional issue for what's happened to those people, so I'm not belittling it. I'm really not. I'm just staying on the technical front. I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Because I think you said on the traffic it was 14 cars.
In a peak hour, that's right.
Okay, and then the part, I'm just trying to make sure we
And
have
I'm not saying
all
there's not an
sides of.
existing traffic cut-through issue on Hunter Creek Road. We're just saying as
Yes.
far as the development, if something's going to happen there, our impact would be 14 cars estimated in the peak hour.
Parking, you have addressed that by the additional spaces that came from the previous time.
Right.
Flood and drainage, you just talked about that. The not racially motivated, I'm not sure what that's even about, but I don't want to get into that. But integrity of information, I know you said you're stamping
Right.
this, so density we covered. Backwash of rain, that was one thing that was mentioned. I don't know if you have a comment on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that means outside of just the way the project will perform with the detention basin and the discharge of the stormwater compared to what's there now. It will meet or limit the pre-development flows at the conclusion of the development.
Okay, and then ingress and egress was one of the concerns that was mentioned tonight.
That's a strategic location where it's put right now in terms of site distance and things. Obviously if there's, there's a balance between being close to Highway 82 and the way those cars would back up at that point, and so having it set back some from that intersection allows the left turns coming out of the development and some stacking. If you move it further up the hill, the site distance issue would probably be aggravated. So we think for access to the site for this or any development of any kind, this is probably where the drive needs to be located.
Okay, and then we had why not garden homes? And I'm not a property owner. That's the property owner's choice of what they want to put there, as long as it meets code.
And we have seen a number of developments. Again, I guess one of the comments was we got to be careful. This may be too expensive and too quality and nice. And the other side, it could be affecting adjoining property values. But planning commissions, councils have a tough job of affecting change, and we see it in a lot of cases. But I've almost never seen it in all those project examples you've seen where adjoining developments were done with something dense like this, that property values overall didn't substantially increase. I mean, it's just a fact, and at first people have opposition, but you can take Waterfall, you can take the town, you can go down the list, and we've seen that in similar areas with nice existing development and new, a little more dense development like this.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir. But happy to answer questions if there are any, though, from the council.
Well, I was just trying to make sure that everybody that came and spoke is heard. You have heard their concerns. You might have an answer. It might not be something that people like or do like, but I want to make sure everybody's heard. Everybody has all the information here. I do understand a lot of the concerns. I do understand some of the reasoning for some of those concerns too. So it's a balancing act. So I do understand that. Anything from council at this point that would?
So what changes did y'all make from the original plan to today?
I'm not sure I can recall all of those because there have been a number, and some of them were in form of the condo term versus townhomes and having the structures themselves as a part of lots versus being part of an overall almost land condo concept. And so that's more in formality than form, because ultimately a lot of those, the configuration didn't change much. We did move some of there was a number of 3-bedroom units compared to the 2-bedroom, so we moved those to be closer to the public-type parking that's in the space, assuming they may have more visitors. But again, by code, we have 2 parking spaces in front of each unit, plus an additional in the garage that's not allowed to be counted towards the parking count. So if you add that even further to it, we think the parking has been addressed. There was a little bit of a change in the amenity from the very first configuration. So the noise concern of the dumpster being located on the north end, we shifted that to the south end.
Okay.
Yeah, the overall density was reduced too from the very initial submittal too. Yeah, the ones that were up on the upper end, again, close to Brookside on that back side too.
Okay. Anything else? Come up to the podium and so we have this on record.
This old woman again, Ruby Wade. There's one thing that has disturbed me from the beginning of this. I guess it's because I'm a mother and a grandmother. But where are the children supposed to play? Because people that were buying them are going to buy them because they want their children to go to Vestavia School. And there's no place for children to play unless they play in Hunter Creek Road or the creek or wander down to Brookside or get on 82. I don't know how many of you have been in this area before and just looked, but the high density in that area when these go in is just going to be unreal. I mean, you look at just a very small area and all the things that are there. The car wash, the nursing home, these condos, Brookside, Vestavia, and people, nobody mentioned this, but people drop their children off at the daycare at the other end of Hunter Creek Road. They turn off at 69, drop their children off on the way to work at the daycare, and then they zoom down Hunter Creek Road. And my neighbor told me she couldn't come tonight because something her child was involved with. But she said, I sit up there and wait, and said, a lot of people run that light coming down, that stop sign coming down Hunter Creek Road. I said, maybe the police should sit up there and catch them, a few of them then, if you're trying to get out of that.
Well, we can make sure that happens, for sure.
That would be good. Bring in some money for the city.
Thank you.
May I address one point, sir?
The guy behind you has his hand up. If we will allow him to come speak. If you'll state your name and address for the record.
Yes, sir. My name is Ted Hicks. I
Yes,
live
sir.
at 3404 Blackberry Lane. My driveway is about as close to Hunter Creek Road as that flag right there.
Okay.
I live on the south end. They're talking about bringing the dumpsters down to the other end so there wouldn't be as much noise. I live over there. I've got a car wash now where I used to have 2 homes. I got a car wash now. They're talking about bringing the dumpster down at the other end. I pay my water bill every month, garbage, pick up. So now we got a dumpster. Yeah, I've asked so many questions concerning this place, and I don't get answers. I called not long ago, some people here, and asked several questions. I got a form that said, fill out the request for public information. I can't get answers. I don't know why. But to me, homes don't have dumpsters.
Have you filled out a request for information?
No, sir, I have not.
You have not? Okay, I was going to check with legal.
I got the form.
Okay, I was going to see if there was a...
I did ask the questions.
Yes,
And I
sir.
apologize, I've got some health issues, and I'm not speaking very clearly tonight.
Yes, sir, I understand.
But I did fill out the forms, and I talked to a young lady, I believe in Ms. Webb's office, asked several questions. And I got a phone call back and was told that I needed to fill out a form. I don't have access to records at the courthouse. I don't full title, I don't know how to do all that. I certainly don't have the resources that these boys have. I will also reiterate that I was there the night Dr. Hinton was there, and he knows what happened that night. He knows what all was said. They were lies told, and it's sad.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing. And once again, I think we've heard a majority of concerns: traffic, parking, flooding, drainage, not racially motivated, integrity of information, density, backwash of rain, ingress, Why not garden homes, children playing? You can have one minute, and we're going to wrap up after that.
George McLaurin again. One of the
Yes, sir.
things that they brought up was that they have met code. Y'all are in the middle of evaluating what needs to be done. After that's done, there are going to be new codes, and they will not have met those. I'd like y'all to consider that. We're scared of another flood. And I'm sure that car wash went in to code, but there was backwash from that at the last big rain. So just like y'all to consider that.
Yes, sir. Okay. If there's not anyone else, we're going to close the floor for the public hearing. The floor is closed for public hearing for 7A4. Is there a member of council that would like to move to grant or deny the request for conditional use approval for approximately 4.88 acres located at 3205 Hunter Creek Road?
I'll make a motion that we deny.
Okay, that is a motion that we deny the request for conditional use. That is by Councilman Hinton. Let's see if we get a second on that, and then we'll open it up for comments. Is there a member of council that would like to second the denial that was motioned by Councilman Hinton? Okay, that motion is going to die for a lack of second. Is there a member of council that would like to move to approve this request for conditional use approval?
I'll make a motion to grant the request for conditional use approval for the 4.88 acres located at 3205 Hunter Creek Road.
Okay.
Second.
That is a motion by Councilwoman Bobo, second by Councilwoman Dykes. Now we will go into questions or comments by council members. If there's a member of council that would like to speak for or against this item or make any kind of discussion, the floor is yours.
Residents of this area have spoken eloquently and passionately about their concerns again tonight. They have discussed many of their objections once more regarding this project. Homes and subdivisions around Hunter Creek Road are zoned residential 1, some residential 2. You see a large neighborhood, perhaps the largest in District 3, with spacious lots, beautiful homes, grassed areas to show the pride the residents have in their homes and community. The request for the new townhome development is for conditional use. And as a part of the definition for conditional use is have uniqueness such that their effect on the surrounding environment cannot be determined in advance of the use being proposed in a particular location. In other words, we don't know what effect it will have on the community, is what this says. My primary objection is density. This development is not appropriate for this area due to the large lot size throughout the adjoining neighborhoods. Approved, when you drive up the street, you will see the back of 10 two-story townhouses over a wooden privacy fence. They will be located on 4.88 acres with approximately half of the land unbuildable. This means 22 townhouses are located on approximately 2.5 acres, maybe less. Another reason for my objection is for health and public welfare concerns. This request unduly burdens our existing sewer capacity in this one area and jeopardizes neighboring property owners. There will be 48 bedrooms in this development, and thus will commodes, toilets, whatever, probably number 30 to 40 or more. All this waste enters the sewage line in older subdivisions, creating serious concerns about sewage capacity in this area. All the problems some of the residents have experienced in the last few years, adding overflow of sewage in the homes would be disastrous. course, my vote on item 7A4 is no when we vote.
Thank you, Dr. Hinton, for your comments. Anyone else have comments or questions? If not, Ms. Webb, call roll.
All right, we'll begin with Councilwoman Bobo, and this is a motion to grant the request for conditional use.
That's correct. I will state that again. This was a grant to request the conditional use. That was a motion by Councilwoman Bobo, second by Councilwoman Dykes. That is in the form of a motion.
Bobo?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Motion approves. Item 7A5 is a second reading of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a franchise agreement with AT&T. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Mr. President. We've already had a first reading on this. This is ready for vote by the council.
Okay, is there a oh, excuse me, this will require a public hearing, is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
apologize.
I will open the floor for a public hearing. If there's someone here that would like to come and speak for or against this agenda item, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, I will close the floor for the public hearing. Is there a member of council that would like to move to adopt the ordinance? That is a motion by Councilman Washington. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Dykes. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Item 8A1 is a first reading of an annexation of approximately .91 acres located at 9911 Jones Road. Ms. Ram.
Yes, sir, this comes with a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to offer that for a first reading?
So moved.
Item 8A2 is a first reading of an annexation of approximately .45 acres located at 9725 Jones Road. Ms. Ram.
Yes, sir, this comes with a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission as well.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to offer that for a first reading?
I will offer that for first reading.
Item 8A3 is a first reading of a renaming 28th Street to Benevolent Way. Ms. Ram.
Yes, sir. Mayor Herndon requests that a portion of 28th Street located between Lurling Wallace Boulevard and 20th Avenue to be renamed Benevolent Way. This item does require a public hearing at this council meeting, and then another public hearing will also be required at the November the 7th council meeting.
Okay. And for clarification from legal is, do we get the first, we get the motion for the first reading first and then do a public hearing, or do we need to do the public hearing and then ask for?
You can handle it either way.
Okay,
Mr. President.
I will go ahead with a public hearing for item 8A3. I'll open the floor. If anyone is here to speak for or against this agenda item, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Bobby Herndon, 2728 Lurleen Wallace Boulevard, Northport. Mr. President, members of the council, as you all know, for the last 11 years, our city has given in times of need across the southeast. We put out the call, and we have so far made 14 relief trips to 17 different cities. And I would like to rename the 250-foot section of 28th Street that lies between Lurleen Wallace and 20th Avenue to Benevolent Way to honor the citizens of Northport and surrounding communities that have given in this time of need.
Okay. 14 relief trips, 17 cities. That's a lot, Mayor. All right. Anyone else? I will close the floor for the public hearing. Is there a member of council that would like to offer this for a first reading? So moved. That is offered by Councilman Washington. 8A4 is the first reading of amending zoning ordinance regarding flood regulations. Ms. Ram.
Yes, sir. This item comes with a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission and will remove sections of the zoning ordinance that pertain to flood regulations and defer those to the flood damage prevention ordinance and FEMA regulations.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to offer that for a first reading? That's offered by Councilman Washington. 8A5 is the first reading of an ordinance ordering demolition of an unsafe structure located at 908 15th Avenue. Ms. Ram.
Yes, sir. The chief building official has declared the structure located at 908 15th Avenue as unsafe and dangerous to the public health. We will have a second reading and a public hearing on November the 7th.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to offer that for a first reading? It's offered by Councilman Washington. 8A6 is a first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 70, Article 8 of the City Code to include regulation of vehicle booting immobilization. Mr. Cunningham.
Yes, Mr. President. The city's received numerous complaints of private booting companies charging excessive fees. This amendment fixes the maximum fee for immobilization at basically one-half the fee for towing a similarly sized vehicle. So that would be $80 for vehicles weighing less than 26,000 pounds and $162.50 for larger vehicles. This does come with a staff recommendation for suspension of rules.
So basically no price gouging.
Yes, sir. That's a summary.
All right. Just to remind everyone, staff has asked for suspension of rules. If we go under suspension of rules, this has to be a unanimous vote to continue with the process. So we'll have to do a suspension of rules vote, then we have to do the actual vote to adopt the ordinance. So with that being said, is there a member of council that would like to move to suspend the rules in order to immediately consider the ordinance for adoption?
So moved.
That is a motion by Councilman Hinton. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Washington. Ms. Webb, call roll.
This will be a vote for suspension of the rules only at this time, beginning with Ms. Bobo.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, we are under suspension of rules. Is there a member of council that would like to move to adopt the ordinance amending Chapter 70, Article 8 of the City Code to include regulation of vehicle booting and immobilization, as Mr. Cunningham just alluded to?
So moved.
That is a motion by Councilwoman Dyke, second by Councilman Washington. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb?
Voting, beginning with Ms. Bobo.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 8A7 is a first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 54, Article 8 relating to noise ordinance. Mr. Cunningham.
President, this is an ordinance that adopts a simplified policy that prohibits sound amplifying equipment from being audible more than 30 feet from the property line within any residential district. This is very similar to what the city of Tuscaloosa has. And this is in addition to our existing zoning ordinance as well. So this is just a simplified option.
Okay. I'll offer that for a first reading. Item 8A8 is a first reading ordinance authorizing the operation of medical cannabis dispensing sites. Mr. Cunningham.
Yes, Mr. President, this ordinance authorizes the operation of medical cannabis dispensing sites within the corporate limits of the city of Northport in accordance with state law. This is also very similar to something the city of Tuscaloosa has done very recently, you may recall.
And
I'm sorry, this also comes with a staff recommendation to suspend the rules.
okay. And with that being said, just want to point out and make sure for clarification, medical cannabis. Everybody hears that, they think of marijuana, but medical cannabis is
Very highly regulated.
Medical purposes, more highly regulated, and it would be dispensed doctor pharmacy type relationship rather than other means of
Yes, sir.
doing such.
As the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission website has a really good frequently asked questions section, and one of the most frequently asked questions is about the product itself. And so one of the clarifications is no leaf product, no plant product, if you will. So pills, tinctures, stuff like that. So yes, nothing you can smoke.
Okay, gotcha. With that being said, staff has requested that we do suspension of the rules for this item here due to time sensitivity. Once again, all 5 members have to vote unanimously to suspend the rules. So I will make the motion to suspend the rules. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Hinton. All right, we are under suspension of rules. Ms. Webb, call roll.
This will be a vote for suspension of rules, beginning with Ms. Bobo.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, and with that said, is there a member of council that would like to move to adopt the ordinance authorizing the operation of medical cannabis dispensing sites?
So move.
That is a motion by Councilman Washington. That is a second by Councilman Hinton. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting beginning with Ms. Bobo.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 8A9 is the first reading of an ordinance reestablishing a city tree program. Mr. Cunningham.
Yes, sir. This is seeking the Tree City designation going forward, which, in addition to recognizing all of our efforts that the mayor alluded to in his proclamation, also allows us to seek grant funding in addition.
Okay. I will offer that for first reading. 8A10 is the first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 42, Article 7, relating to reed control. Mr. Cunningham.
Yes, sir. This is just cleaning up an outdated reference to an administrative fee amount that is not consistent. So this is just really a correction.
Okay. I will offer that for first reading. 8A11 is the first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 74, Article 5, relating to extensions for water and sanitary sewer mains outside of the city limits. Mr. Cunningham.
Yes, Mr. President. This ordinance clarifies our existing policy, our existing ordinance for extending water and sewer service beyond the city limits. It specifies that it is limiting such extension to one single-family home at a time on a case-by-case basis, and it includes limitation on extensions of water service within the city limits, intending to serve those outside the city limits as well.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to offer this for first reading? That's offered by Councilman Hinton. 8A12 is the first reading of a permanent resolution authorizing the mayor and city administrator to execute documents related to change of entity and incorporation of TICRIC. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Mr. President, as you know, we have been very fortunate, not only in Northport, but Tuscaloosa County, to have the Tuscaloosa County Road Improvement Commission formed by state legislature several years ago. The law has been amended to allow them to incorporate, become a public corporation, which will allow them to seek bond and other sources of funding. And it requires the city council to allow the mayor and city administrator sign those incorporations agreement. We do ask you to suspend the rules due to the time sensitivity issues.
Okay. Due to time sensitivity, I will move to suspend the rules in order to immediately consider the permanent resolution for adoption. That is in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
By Councilman Washington. Ms. Webb, will you call roll for the suspension of rules, please?
This is voting for suspension of rules, beginning with Ms. Bobo.
Yes.
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 Yes. Is there a member of council that would like to move to adopt the permanent resolution changing TICRIC to a public incorporation?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Washington, second by Councilwoman Dykes. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting beginning with Ms. Bobo.
Yes.
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 Yes. Hey, we made it to the second page. AB1 is a resolution awarding bid file 22-15 for brush and tree removal service. Ms. Ram.
Yes, sir. We opened bids on September the 30th. Woodard Outdoor LLC was the apparent low bidder at $350 per hour.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to move to approve this resolution?
So moved.
That's a motion by Councilwoman Bowe, second by Councilman Washington. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo.
Yes.
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 Yes. AB2 is a resolution awarding bid file 22-16 litter, rubbish, debris, and junk removal service. Ms. Ram.
Yes, sir. This bid was also opened on September the 30th. The low bidder of R&T Lawn Service at $65 per hour.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to move to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Bobo, second by Councilman Washington. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo.
Yes.
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 Yes. 8A3 is been deleted. 8B3 has been deleted. 8B4 is a resolution authorizing water service outside of the city limits at 15670 Tabernacle Road. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Mr. President, the staff recommends approval with the usual stipulations contained in the resolution.
Okay. I will move to adopt the resolution authorizing water service outside of the city limits for property located at 15670 Tabernacle Road pursuant to the conditions in the resolutions. That's in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Bobo. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. 8B5 is a resolution fixing the cost of nuisance weed abatement and authorizing filing a lien for property located on Applewood Drive. Mr. Davis.
Yes, this is ready for vote by the council.
Okay, and this will require a public hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll open the floor for a public hearing on 8B5. If there's someone here that would like to come speak for or against this agenda item, please come do so. Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. Member of council that would like to adopt this resolution? That's a motion by Councilman Washington. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Bobo. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. AB6 is a resolution authorizing the city administrator to negotiate and enter into an agreement with Red Point Audio for AV upgrade. Mr. Cunningham.
Yes, Mr. President, this is for audio-visual upgrades in this room and in the nearby multi-purpose room just across the hall. And this resolution comes with a favorable recommendation from the Administrative Committee.
Okay. Member of council that would like to move to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Bobo, second by Councilman Washington. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. AB7 is resolution approving and ratifying the contract with Krebs Law LLC to serve as part-time Northport prosecutor. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Mr. President, this is ready to be voted on by the council.
Okay. And Mr. Davis, just for clarification, this will be the formal termination of the current city prosecutor, Ms. Rachel Bloom Robertson, and replacing her with Krebs Law LLC to serve in this role. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. President.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to move to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Hinton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Bobo. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. 8B8 is resolution authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement between the City of Northport Fire Rescue and W.E. Crawford, M.D., LLC for a period of 1 year. Chief Marshal.
Yes, sir. The state requires us to have a medical director oversee our ALS, our paramedic services, and this will allow Dr. Crawford to continue. And he has not had a cost increase in the last 6 years.
We all like that. That's the only thing that hasn't increased in cost. Is there a member of council that would like to move to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Councilwoman Bobo, seconded by everybody. We're going to say second by Councilwoman Dykes.
Voting with Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. 8B9 is a resolution declaring certain vehicles surplus and authorizing their disposal. Chief Burton.
Yes, sir. We have a 2014 Ford Explorer that we would like to surplus at auction.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to move to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
By Councilwoman Bowe, second by Councilman Washington. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. 8B10 is a resolution authorizing the city administrator to enter into amendment number 1 with TTL for the recreational master plan. Ms. Tubbs.
Yes, this is amending their master plan agreement with us.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to move to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
So moved.
That is a motion by Councilwoman Bobo, second by Councilwoman Dykes. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. 8B11 is a resolution authorizing the city administrator to execute a right-of-way permit to Henderson Family LLC for exterior improvements at 433 Main Avenue. Ms. Tubbs.
Yes, this is for an awning at their location.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to adopt this resolution?
I moved.
That's a motion by Councilwoman Dykes, second by Councilwoman Bobo. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. AB 12 is a resolution authorizing the city administrator to execute a right-of-way permit to Henderson Family LLC for exterior improvements at 431 Main Avenue.
For an awning next door.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to move to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
That's a motion by Councilwoman Bobo. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Hinton. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. AB 13 is a resolution authorizing city administrator to award bid to ST Bund Construction Company Incorporated for the 2022 City Street Resurfacing Project in the amount of $1,268,427.30. And I'm assuming Ms. Tubbs. Anything else?
No, sir.
So moved.
Second.
That is a motion by Councilwoman Dykes, and that is a second by Councilwoman Bobo. And I'm sure there's going to be no questions or comments. We're going to go straight to Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. Ms. Tubbs, when will that work begin? Do we know?
We'll have to execute the contract, get their bid, their bonds, and
Yep.
then they'll start work hopefully within the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, sounds great. AB 14 is a resolution authorizing the city administrator to award bid to Civil Works Construction LLC for the levee repair project in the amount of $45,000. Ms. Tubbs.
Yes, sir. This is repairing damage that we had to our levee, and it should be reimbursable.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to move to adopt the resolution?
So move.
Second.
By Councilman Hinton, second by Councilman Washington. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. AB 15 is a resolution authorizing the city administrator to award bid to ST Bund Construction Company Incorporated for the Northwood Estates Drive reconstruction project. Ms. Tubbs.
Same ST Bund, and we hope for them to get under construction in the next 6 to 8 weeks.
So moved.
I know Councilwoman Bobo is ready for that one. That's a motion by Councilwoman Bobo. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Washington. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. AB 16 is a resolution authorizing the city administrator to execute an amendment for contract extension with Craig R. Weatherspoon. Ms. Tubbs.
This is due to supply chain issues. There's no monetary, just time extension.
Okay. Well, I will make the motion to adopt this resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Bobo. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. AB 17 is a resolution ratifying the execution of a property acquisition contract with Keller Williams by the city administrator on behalf of the city of Northport. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Mr. President, this is ready to be ratified by the city council.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
That's a motion by Councilwoman Bobo. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Washington. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. AB 18 is a resolution authorizing the city administrator to enter into amendment number 2 with Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated for on-call grant services. Ms. Tubbs.
Yes, we've been very successful with Kimley Horn, and we would like to extend their on-call as-needed services for our grant.
Okay, is there a member of council that would like to move to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
That is a motion by Councilman Hinton. That is a second by Councilwoman Bobo. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. AB 19 is a resolution approving the scope of authority services and action plan of the City of Northport Healthcare Subcommittee. Mr. Davis.
Yes, Mr. President, as you know, the council has appointed the healthcare subcommittee. We have two of the members here tonight, Janet Tier, Dr. Albright. And what this does is set forth their scope of authority and services and also a plan of action for that committee. It asks that these various entities that they will be contacting cooperate with them. So it's ready for a vote by the city council.
Okay. Is there a member of council that would like to move to adopt this resolution?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Hinton, second by Councilwoman Dykes. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. 8C is our consent agenda. This ranges from minutes, bill listings, purchase requisitions. Is there a member of council that would like to move to approve the consent agenda as printed?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Bobo. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Washington. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Webb.
Voting with Ms. Bobo?
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 9 is reports of special committees of council. If there's a member of council that would like to give a report from their committee. Item 10 is public hearings. We have none. Item 11, city administrator's business.
Yes, sir. I have two items tonight. I want to let the public know that our public involvement meeting that was scheduled for tomorrow evening has been postponed due to potential inclement weather, and that's in regards to the Main Avenue project. We'll be rescheduling that at a later date. And at this time, I'm asking Mr. Rose and Mr. McGee to come forward and give us some information about our upcoming Veterans Day Parade.
Yes, Ms. Webb, just as a reminder, we are having our first ever Veterans Day Parade on Friday, November the 11th. It'll be on Main Avenue, 8 o'clock. We will have our opening ceremony, and then the parade will start at 8:30. You still have time to participate in the parade. Applications will be accepted up until Wednesday of this week at 5 o'clock. We have about 10 to 15 people that have registered to participate in this year's parade, and that there are multiple entries within each application. So it's not just going to be 15 people walking down the street. So we've got other rescue vehicles and other organizations that have multiple vehicles involved in the parade. We also this year accepted applications for grand marshals. We're very fortunate this year to receive applications from individuals from 4 different wars over the years that included 3 different branches of service. So for the honorees this year, we have Mr. Shedrick Lee Davis. He served in the Marines in Vietnam. Mr. Bill Porter from the Army. He served in the Korean War. Mr. Walter Turner. He served in the Navy during Operation Desert Storm. And this year's Grand Marshal served in the Navy in World War II, Mr. Jim Hickson.
Thank you, Mr. Rose.
We look forward to celebrating all of our veterans in our community on November 11th, and we'll start at 8 a.m. at the Shirley Place on Main Avenue, and then the parade will commence from the area of Eccles Middle School and come down Main Avenue to the terminus at the levee along First there.
Anything else?
Sure.
Item 12 is departmental business. We have none. Item 13 is mayor and council members' business. We'll start with Mayor Herndon.
I know in our new business, we talked about medical cannabis, and then a couple of rows down, we talked about weed control. So I don't know what they hand in hand. But what I want to do today, I don't know if you saw, but the Northport Police Department, and then I'm getting all seriousness, made a major bust of marijuana, and I always like to brag on our forces. We have an awesome police department, fire department. Everybody in the city of Northport's awesome. But I just want to brag on them. Diligent. I think it was just maybe doing a routine traffic stop as far as I think what the conversation was. But our guys are on the ball. But thank you very much. And then the thing about the parade for Veterans Day, we want everybody out there. I mean, you can't say enough, you can't do enough for our veterans. Anyway, I know it meant a lot to them, meant a lot to me for everybody to be out there. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. District 1, Councilwoman Bobo.
I have no new business. I would like to tell our healthcare subcommittee members, thank you so much for all the extra time that you put in. We know that you guys have a lot on your own plates, and this is just so important to us, and we appreciate you.
Okay, anything else?
No.
I would like to mention too to Dr. Albright, to the committee, thanks for the work you're doing, the plans you have, because I think it'll help not only Northport but the whole community with what you plan.
Okay, District 2, Councilman Washington.
Oh, sir, I don't have any.
District 3, anything else?
Nothing else.
District 4, Councilwoman Dykes.
Nothing new.
And I don't have anything for District 5 tonight. Item 14 is adjournment. Is there a member of council that would like to motion to adjourn?
So moved.
That is a motion by Councilwoman Bobo, second by Councilwoman Dykes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.